What's going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we are learning how to set up Voicemeter Banana. Voicemeter Banana is a audio distributing application which basically mimics the same sort of audio mixer that a high-end studio would use, but you're able to do it for free and you're actually able to get similar results. It's not going to be like the exact perfect, but for what this application is, it actually does it really well. So you can do one of two things. You can download the zip package or you can just download it straight. Both of these take to the same thing. They're the exact same update, so that doesn't really matter. And if you guys are curious, for the banana version, it is completely free to use. I recommend the banana version because it just has like the best of both worlds and you have a third additional hardware output. We'll get into that in a little bit. You can download like the standard Voicemeter. It's a little bit more basic and it doesn't show as many options, so just keep that in mind. Potato is more of a donationware software, so but this one is a little bit more for like the more high-end application users, so it just depends on your thing. I would recommend just sticking with Banana though. It's sort of the mix in between the both worlds. Now after you have that installed, you want to download the virtual audio cables. So basically this is going to have two virtual cables for us to play with. Virtual cable A, virtual cable B. These will be important, that way we can have it so everybody's audio tracks are going to be on different tracks on OBS, and we'll get into that in a little bit too. Alright, so now that we're in Voicemeter Banana, there's going to be 3 hardware inputs, 2 virtual inputs, and basically this is like the master mixer down at the bottom. And this is where you can basically have whatever device hear each other and be able to play the exact same thing. So if you want to have a multiple monitor setup, or if you want to be able to toggle between your speakers in the background, this is how you do it. Now, we're going to have our microphone be one of the inputs, so whichever one it is, it doesn't really matter. Just go ahead and have your microphone. Now there is 2 different options, so there's WDM, and then there's MME. These are just different ways the computer can read your microphone. It seems like if you're using a fiber optic cable, MME just seems to work a little bit better, but if you're using like a standard just headset plug, then just stick with the WDM. I'd play around with it. You can definitely tell if it sounds like very weird and like robotic-y, then you know you need to swap to the other one. So for hardware input 2, you want to select KSVB audio cable A. For hardware input 3, you want to select KSVB audio cable B. So basically we're going to be able to have our desktop audio and our friends / Discord. So basically the reason why we installed cable A and cable B is that way we can separate our friends from the main desktop audio. So we're going to have Xbox and Discord, for example, be one of these inputs. That way they just immediately just have their own separate track on OBS, and we will get into that at the very end of the video to show you guys how to set it up there too. For hardware output, so this is where basically you can have wherever you want. So my headphones are plugged directly into my monitor. So you can basically click A1 and have whatever you want. So my headphones plug directly into my monitor, so I just have it that way. But if you want to have like your headphones, your monitor, and like your speakers in the background be selected, you can basically use all 3 of these outputs. One of mine is using a fiber optic cable, so that's why it's on the MME. And since we're using the virtual audio cables, basically all you have to do is toggle this A2 option and it'll automatically play on your speaker, or even A3 depending on if you actually use the third auxiliary output. And on your main computer, you want to click on the speaker icon down at the bottom right hand corner of your desktop and make sure it's selected to VB audio cable B, and you can name it whatever you want. I just call it speakers. So basically cable B is always going to be here, and this is where your desktop audio is played. So basically anytime that you start to play something, it should automatically start bouncing up and down, sort of like our voice is. So as long as you did this right, the audio should be bouncing up and down in this corner. This cable A we're going to use for our friends, so unless you're actually in like a Discord call or something, you won't be able to test that out just yet. Now, there are these different intellipans. Basically you can play around your voice and make it sound a little bit different. So they all start with right here at the bottom. If you double click, it automatically turns the filters off. Then you can move them around to sound, you know, just sort of pick and choose. There's different areas where you can actually play with. This should be changing my voice real time so you can tell like the difference. I keep mine right around here. Save with my friends just that way everything's all in unison. Now, if you want to right click, there's actually modulation units. So this is pretty cool. It's probably not really necessarily too important to go over, but if you want to just mess with your friends and stuff, you can play around with this and like sound like an alien or whatever. And then just double click it, it automatically turns it off. So yeah, I would definitely keep that off. And then the last one, if you actually want to change it to make it sound like you're more further away, you can have this all the way at the very top and it will basically give you like you're shouting sort of effect. So it's just little cool things like that you can play around with. The gate is how much noise is going to be picked up by your microphone before it actually turns on. And mine it too, you're just going to have to play around with it based on your room's noise. Like for example, computer fans, keyboard. 2 might be a little bit too high, 2 might be a little bit too low. It's probably between 1 and like 3.5 though, so don't go like too crazy with it. Compression, I just have 1 that way. It's just a little bit compressed and that way everything is more steady audio track. Now you can actually boost your fader gain up and down if you want to. For example, the Xbox Party app normally makes people sound quieter. You can boost up all their audio so that they're a little bit louder and have more oomph whenever they speak, just as, you know, somewhat equal out your audio. Same with your desktop audio if you want to boost that up some too, because I mean you can always fix it in OBS later on anyways. The virtual inputs in the middle we're not really going to mess around with since we installed cable A and cable B. We don't have to do that, but like if you wanted to have the audio play on your speakers in the background, you just literally click A2, A3 here, or wherever you assign it. So if you assign it to A3, then you just want A1 and A3 selected. Basically your headphones and your speakers in the background will both play the exact same audio. Now before we get into OBS, I just want to show you how to set up your Xbox Party app. So if you open up the Xbox app for your party, your speakers are going to be whatever you want to label it as, VB Audio Cable A. And that's all you have to do. I recommend just using your default microphone in the Xbox app. It seems like the Hertz have a little bit of issues. You could go into sound setting on your computer, go into the recording and mess around with your properties, because it seems like if you swap the advanced to around 96,000 it seems to work a little bit better, or you could just do default. Either way works. So that's going to be it for the Xbox app. Now let's get into the Discord app. Basically your input device, I recommend using your standard microphone again, because sometimes Discord updates and it doesn't necessarily play well with Voicemeter Banana. So I had everything set up perfectly fine working with it, and then for some reason it started having like staticky noises just since some of the hardware inputs didn't work together. But your output is also going to be VB Audio Cable A. So basically Discord and Xbox are going to be on the same audio track, but that's alright. That way, you know, if you need to boost or lower your friends, you can do that there. Alright, now all that is set up. Basically you want to click on your settings in OBS, come over into the audio tab. Your desktop audio is going to be speakers. So you want VB Audio Cable B, because that is what we define as our audio source in Voicemeter Banana. Right here. So this is basically our desktop audio area. You want desktop audio 2 to be cable A, because that is where we assign our friends to be. And then for your mic auxiliary, go ahead and have your voice meter output VB Audio Voice Meter VAIO. Basically that is going to capture your voice from inside of Voicemeter. Now if you guys are curious the difference between what it sounds like regular and what a standard microphone with the exact same filters are, I'm going to play both of these and see what you guys like better. So we copied the filters from the Voicemeter Banana, and we're going to check in here so there's no filters in the standard mic auxiliary. Paste the filters, and you know what, we'll even lower it down to the exact same decibel to try to give it the exact same thing. So this is what I sound like with the Voicemeter Banana with the exact same audio filters. And this is what I sound like with the standard mic auxiliary. So let me know what you guys think, which one sounds better. But that is going to be it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.